Just got home from a great day doing outreach with CPI LA in Hollywood. Literally, that stretch of various blocks, which has been the main location for decades of the Academy Awards celebrations, and not just in one building. There's a couple of different places where the Academy Awards have taken place on that stretch of land, 3 or 4 blocks, whatever it is, there on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. We were there talking to tourists and locals, people from all around the country, Alabama, Vermont, Minnesota, Oregon, and probably more, and locals too as well. One that even said he voted for Trump. We gave palm cards and the flyers, from our No War on Iran rallies. It was a great day. I came to realization through watching some media and just connecting the dots, and all these things that have been happening, all of these things that have been happening in recent times, it's really about, well, let me start from the beginning. Ukraine, obviously, with Russia and with Israel and Palestine and Gaza. Remember, it's also Syria and Lebanon. It's also Yemen. There was even talk of, Somalia, creating a section of Somalia for Somaliland to move tens of thousands or more Palestinians there. Just all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And then bombing embassies and hospitals and schools and moving people around as they've been doing for decades, but in these more recent times, focusing on these certain areas. And then Venezuela, kidnapping Maduro, and how that'll impact Cuba, and then bombing Iran, and how that created instability in the area. And while there's all this talk about how all the prices of oil and gas are going to go up, just like, food prices going up, all of this talk of, but all of this going on, all of these little details going on, is about the USA and its companies having energy dominance, global energy dominance. And even Russia's percentage, either in LNG or gas or oil, I'm not sure, has decreased on the world market through all of this. And of course, Iran, is impacted. Qatar, this Exxon Mobil has stuff there, but they also have, refineries, whatever, in Texas. So it does, as Richard Midhurst, the British Syrian journalist, he says, he's connecting dots, putting things together. It just seemed like it's about the USA establishing, not working on establishing, getting world energy, global energy dominance. It's already happened in his assessment. And all these other things are just repercussions, and people fighting back, and people fighting over different resources and controlling different things. Because what they say, he who controls the energy or controls the oil, whatever, controls the world. And that's kind of what it looks like to him. And it makes sense, connecting all the dots, and there's a lot of moving parts. And a friend of mine is a physicist, said that he has conversations with another physicist friend of his, and it makes perfect sense that obviously I've heard him talk physics to me, and like some of it just goes way over my head. But he said that he and his physicist friend have come to the conclusion that politics, or you could say political science, is far more complex than anything they studied in physics. Now think about it. That makes sense, especially when you really start analyzing all these different aspects of what we've gone through, what we've seen, some of the work that we've done ourselves. It's very humbling. So one could say, how could I end this on a positive note? Well, CPI's got the right message. We do need to expand it in certain ways. We need to say we need a movement to demand a government of action for working families, in addition to the 4-point economic plan. That's part of the mass mobilization. We also need to public ownership of natural resources is a factor, rather than trying to take everyone else's. And public banks instead of private banks for profit. And then FDR's 1944 proposal for an economic bill of rights, where everyone, every single one, has a right to a job, to education, to health care, to even recreation and fun times. And I think that's still something we need to talk to people about, and putting out there on a sign, even like people on Hollywood Boulevard. It does get lots of thumbs up and responses from people. Honks on the street when we were over by La Brea and Hollywood Boulevard. It's all good stuff. We need to keep doing this, mixing with the masses and sharing these messages, and encouraging people to get involved in their own communities. And hopefully we're planting seeds, and we'll see more of that start because of our efforts, and that you will too, wherever you are. That you will engage people and inspire them to want to get involved and do things, because that's really what's important. Yeah, the things we cannot control on this Earth planet, but if you want to know another hopeful idea, I think, to me, we need to understand that as much as these handful of people here, they're making out like bandits, and it could be the petrodollar is going to shift to the petro LNG dollar. In other words, oil, gas, and liquid natural gas dollar might be on the horizon, not the Chinese yuan or the Russian ruble. That might be happening. That's what could be changing. Not that the petrodollar is going away entirely. It's just changing its concept a little bit to stay in control, energy dominance. But one thing that cannot be dominated is universal law. And that's spiritual. It's not religion. It's not a belief system. It's something that actually is a fact. The universe exists. You could say God exists. Okay, same kind of idea. Humans cannot control that, no matter how much they might believe that they can. And it's humility for us to accept the fact that allow this to be revealed through our own consciousness. That it is something even much more than religion, because even religion is human-made. Belief systems are human-made. That's why they're belief systems. This is something truly eternal and infinite. Truly intelligence in action. And if you want to talk to me more about it, reach out to me, but I'll just leave it at that. That's my hopeful morning message. And you could say reflection from the day's activity. Have a great day. To be continued.